The next coach on the teleconference is Illinois' John Groce. The Fighting Illini are 8-7 overall and 0-2 in Big Ten play. Illinois will travel to Michigan State on Thursday before hosting Purdue on Sunday. Coach Groce, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. Can you please start us out with a brief opening statement, and then we'll go straight to questions for you.
Sure, that'd be great. Obviously coming off of, we had a disappointing loss last night, but at the same time I thought encouraging as well by the way that we played at Ohio State. Our guys have really, I'm very proud of them. They've stayed the course, and they've been through a lot of adversity that's very abnormal in terms of roster with some injuries and different things that we've had to go through. But, our guys have continued to view those obstacles as opportunities. Our younger guys, I think, are getting better. We're really playing right now 4 freshmen and then a total, when Lewis is healthy, in our top 9 of 6 guys that did not play a second for us last year. And they're learning pretty quickly. And I like what I'm seeing from them. I think they're controlling what they can control. I thought our effort and our attitude yesterday was really good. I thought we played a full 40 minutes. I thought that was a step in the right direction for us, and we're excited to get back to work tomorrow after a day off today to get ready for Michigan State on Thursday. Questions?
Thanks, Coach. Straight to questions, please. Let's start out with Scott Ritchie, please.
And our first question comes from the line of Scott Ritchie with Campaign News.
Looks like we lost Scott. Let's go straight to Jeremy, please.
Jeremy, your line is opened.
Hey, John, it's Jeremy. Just wondering, you've been through this before where you have a slow start to Big Ten play. How do you keep the guys focused on getting better even though the losses might pile up a little bit?
Well, we've always done that. As you know, Jeremy, we've been through some good stretches, rough stretches, for different reasons, different years. But we've always done that. I think that's the one thing. We have a little bit right now of a culture in place, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, where our guys are used to being kind of next man up. Like I said earlier in my opening statements, they've dealt with a lot, and I think that makes you a little bit thicker-skinned. And our guys have been that way. I thought we practiced really well leading into yesterday's game. I thought we played really well for 40 minutes, and we've just got to build on that. Our guys know that. They know that's what we expect, and they've really bought into that over our time here.
And I know you're probably sick of us asking these kind of questions, but given your lack of personnel right now in the post, are you any more optimistic about Mike or Oran coming back anytime soon?
No, not really. Obviously those guys try to do treatment and rehab every day. Some days that responds better than others. Some days it swells, meaning the knees. They'll let me know when they're able to practice. I would say this, I got a hard time believing they're going to be able to play until they can actually have a practice.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to practice at all. So until they can at least get out there for a practice, and we think that's the right thing to do for them from a health perspective, nothing's really changed. They're still out, as I said last time in reference to Laurent, they're out indefinitely. Their bodies have to respond a certain way, and we have to do what's right for them from a health perspective.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
And our next question comes from the line of Scott Ritchie with Campaign News.
Now that I figured out how to unmute myself, Coach, I guess a couple of questions. First, did you have a chance to look at the film and maybe see where the foul situation against Ohio State came from?
I've had a chance to watch the defensive clips in the second half, and we had our hands on guys. I thought too much. Obviously, we fouled 2 jump shooters. You can't do that. That gives them points at the free throw line. I've got to watch our offensive possessions yet, Scott. Here this morning, I'll do that in succession. I thought that Loving was really aggressive and did a great job putting us in position where our guys were tempted and didn't have enough discipline with their hands. But to be honest with you, I thought Hill did the same thing to them at the other end, and I'm just going to have to watch that and see what that looks like and contrast it a little bit and finish that up here this morning.
And the other thing is Ohio State blocked 9 shots yesterday, and this week you'll see some pretty good shot blockers in Davis at Michigan State and Hammonds at Purdue. Are there things you can maybe apply from Sunday this week to handle that a little better?
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You at some point you get in there. Now, we'll give Giddens credit a couple times. He came from, it seemed like another planet to block shots. Some of those are hard to see, Scott, as you're a driver and you're driving and you think you're going to get a layup and a guy comes behind from weak side or blind side. But at the same time, when you know you're playing against a team like that, just like any other team that has a strong suit area, you've got to make adjustments and you got to be able to adapt. I'm disappointed that we had 19 missed field goals in the 2-point range and 9 of them were blocked. I mean, some of that's on us. We got to be smarter with that. I understand they're going to block some because they're good at it. But, if it's just 3 less, if it's 6, if it's 5, that's 3 or 4 possessions where you get a shot up on the rim in a 2-point game. That's a big difference. So, obviously we'll continue to address that. We're well aware of Michigan State's strength in that area with their front court heading into Thursday.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Coach, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like we are now joined by Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. The Spartans are 14-1 overall, 1-1 in the Big Ten, and currently the top-ranked team in both the AP and USA Today coaches polls. Michigan State will host Illinois on Thursday before traveling to Penn State on Sunday. Coach Izzo, good morning.
Well, good morning, and thank you. We had I guess a little disappointing start, not because we got beat at Iowa, but because we didn't play, I thought, as well, and I thought we bounced back and played better against Minnesota, and I thought Minnesota, who struggled a little bit, played pretty well against us. So we're 1-1. I think there's been a couple surprises in the league already, but there's some teams playing real well. Iowa's one of them, Maryland. I still think Purdue is. So we're still hanging in there, hopefully getting our star back within the next week. Not sure on the timetable yet, but he is making some improvements in Denzel Valentine. And other than that, we're getting ready for Illinois on Thursday.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go straight to questions, please.
And our first question comes from the line of Don Marcus with Baltimore Sun.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. In terms of when you approach games without a player like Denzel, does the strategy, philosophy, approach change drastically, or do you have to have guys just do their roles and just play them better?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I've ever had a player quite like Denzel. I've had some good players and great rebounders and great point guards and great scorers, but I really, Draymond was close but didn't have the ball half as much as Denzel. And what I'm learning is, everybody's got to step up and next man up and all that coaches, rigmarole. But the truth of it is, we're missing a guy that was our best scorer, best assist man, our best rebounder, and our second best defender, and our most experienced guy and our best leader. So those are a lot of things that are reasons why I think we don't look as good. When role players have to step up, it's a good thing, and we're getting more out of our inside game. That's been helping. Aaron Harris is kind of getting better at being more of a main player, but we're still missing a lot, and that's not all going to come back together in a couple of games that we played. So we're learning how to play without him. Hopefully that won't be too much longer.
And just to follow up in terms of when a guy like that goes out, do you go back to more of a basic try to get the ball inside, or do you have to have with guys like Brandon and people like that?
Harris. Yeah. You can't try to do things you're not good at. Now, our inside game has improved this summer when we were in Italy. I think we're getting more out of it. Deontay Davis brings another dimension to that for us. So that's going to be something I think we're going to get better at. But we still got to get our fast break going, and the problem we've had is I think Bryn and Aaron haven't run as well, and Denzel was so good at getting a rebound and coming out with it that sped up your break too. So, we're not complaining that everybody's got injuries, but I will say this: I haven't had a player in my 21 years that I think has meant as much to the team. We played without Payne, Dawson, and Appling in a couple of games, all of them out together, and it seems like more of a loss just losing Denzel just because of the multi-dimensional things that he's done for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And our next question comes from the line of Chad Listokow with Des Moines Register.
Hi, good morning, Coach.
How are you?
I wanted to ask about Big Ten scheduling. A team like Iowa you're going to face twice here by January 14th. I just wondered if you had any opinion on that and if you had any thoughts on that.
Well, I don't think you'll like it, especially when we got an injury. But there's so many factors. The Big Ten does a great job with their schedule. It's everybody's going to have complaints, and depending on what goes on, but there's so many factors they're trying to look at. Not too many away games in a row, not different times, weekday games, and there's other activities. I mean, it's scheduling has got to be a zoo. I was kid Mark and probably complain. Used to a lot more than I do now because I think I have a better grasp on how difficult it is. I don't think any coach likes to play teams close together. The old conventional way is you play the team first game of the year, and then you play them the first game of the second half, and that's changed so much now. But we played back-to-back once. I think we played Northwestern once and then played them the next week again. That, I guess it's easier for prep, but that's hard on a team. But this we get a week or two in between, and I'm sure nobody loves it. But when you think of all the factors they got, it's kind of a necessary evil.
Sure, and I just wanted to follow up specifically on Iowa, a team that you played and just beat Purdue. Do you feel like that, that validated them in a way, and do you see them as a Big Ten contender?
Well, I do see him as a Big Ten contender. I saw him at that before we played him. I told Franny after the game, I just think his team, unfortunately, I think Clemens from our place has given him some more toughness in that team, and I love the way he's coaching them. I think they're a very good team. Gessel really went off against us. You do a good job on Udolph, and then Gessel gets you, do a good job on him, then Jock gets you. They've got more than, a few players now, and I think he does a heck of a job coaching them, but I thought he's done that since he's got there. So do I think they're a contender? Well, you beat Michigan State, you beat Purdue. Those were two contenders, so I think that makes you an automatic contender whether he likes it or not. But it's a long season yet. He knows it. We know it. And maintaining a level of high performance is what's hard for all of us to do. But Franny's done a great job over the years, and I think this is his best team.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And our next question comes from the line of Scott Dodderman with Cedar Rapids Gazette.
Tom, I'm sorry to continue the line of questions here about Iowa, but Jared...
Hey, they deserve it. They deserve it.
Jared Udolph has come to play this year as far as his shot blocking ability. He can do it inside, outside, and I know his length is an asset, but what makes him so effective and being able to do it in both on the perimeter and in the post?
Well, I think you just hit one thing. He's in the post more offensively and defensively. I think that's been a plus. I think he was a lot more of just a three-point shooter and a perimeter guy, and now he posts up a little bit more on offense, and maybe he's guarding people down there a little better on defense. I think like we all do, the maturation process has made him a little more physical and just better mentally prepared to do those things. And Franny's always been a good coach, but I do think defensively they're better than they've been over the last couple of years, in my humble opinion.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Coach, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.